What up YouTube, it's Missouri's Company. In today's video, I want to talk about not the state of the game for Diablo Immortal, but sort of why I'm concerned about the future of Diablo Immortal. Let's get straight to it. So while we have this conversation, I figured I would just go ahead and do my dailies as just start to die apparently. Been Inferno 3 this whole time, never been a problem until I want to record a video. But anyway, so I spoke on this briefly in a previous video, and I feel like it was worth expanding on for its own video, just to sort of start the conversation, because I want to see how you guys feel about this. But Diablo Immortal, BlizzCon is coming up this weekend, and Diablo Immortal is not in it at all. Like, not even a little bit, not even mentioned, not even referenced, not even, like, no sneak peeks. And this could all be for naught, where, we find out that, yeah, sure, Diablo Immortal, it is going to be talked about in BlizzCon, but the fact that it's not in BlizzCon currently, and assuming that it isn't, and assuming there isn't anything about it in there, I'm a little concerned with the future of Diablo Immortal, I'm not going to lie. And it's irritating to feel that way, because the game itself is in such a awesome spot. I love where Diablo Immortal is. We are getting very frequent updates, and they're not lackluster. They're pretty meaningful. Like, they're not, a new class again, but we just got a new class. So I don't expect to get a new class every few months, but we are getting new game modes, and they're perfecting the game modes that we do have. Like, it's by far not in maintenance mode, and we're still getting some awesome content and some very frequent, updates to the game, and it feels good. But the fact that Blizzard basically is disowning it is a little concerning. Now, there has been a lot of tension, if you're not aware, between Blizzard and NetEase, where NetEase and Blizzard just don't get along anymore, and I highly doubt they'll ever work on a project again together. So that could be the result of this, where NetEase is sort of taken over the helm, and Blizzard just puts their stamp of approval on what's going on in the game, as it is still quote-unquote their game, and their IP, more importantly. And IP means intellectual property, in case you're curious, but it's still concerning that in Blizzard's, if it is your IP, if it is, not arguably, factually, from a gross income standpoint, your top grossing game to date, where for a while there, Diablo Immortal was getting over $1 million a day in sheer revenue. To not be at BlizzCon feels bad. Now, let's talk about why maybe it isn't being talked about at BlizzCon. We talked about it could be just the conflict between NetEase and Blizzard, and that very well could be it, where they just don't want to talk about it. They're like, it's doing well enough on its own, or just let NetEase promote it. Whatever they're doing, maybe that tension is the cause. Or what's another reason? It could be all the backlash that Diablo Immortal received when it was last discussed at BlizzCon, which didn't go over well. Now, again, if you sort of paint the full picture and be fair to sort of everyone involved, it was announced at a time where people were expecting a D4 announcement. So yeah, when you go from announcing when everyone is thinking going to be Diablo 4 to Diablo Immortal, a mobile game, with a community that's very heavily, like their whole audience was not mobile gamers, their whole audience was PC gamers who were ready for their next big game, to not get that, yeah, I understand why the reaction was what it was, but we're past that. The game came and gone, and is still here, and it's thriving. I mean, you still haven't brought the Blood Knight to Diablo 4, so obviously there's some exclusivity reason to play Diablo Immortal if you want to try a new class to the IP. And again, the game is getting very frequent updates still. They haven't slowed down their content, which is usually a pretty big sign when it comes to mobile games as to if they're dying. I think Diablo Immortal is still bringing in a ton of money. I'm very confident of that. Is it $1 million a day? Probably not. I'm gonna be honest, probably not. But I'm guarantee you, they're still doing just fine. And there's still more that could be developed. We've seen sneak peeks of like a pet system coming to the game, which could be monetized. You could add a legendary gem socket to the pets and make it, again, a basically double monetization. I can tell you right now, if pets were to come to the game just to help me pick up loot, I would spend money on just cosmetics alone, or the pet even. Like, even if it's a service, like that's something that's such a huge quality of life that I would greatly enjoy. That's monetization that even I would support. And I'm, for all intents and purposes, not the target audience, because I'm putting all two star legendary gems on my gear, so I don't have to worry about legendary gems anymore, and then I can start working on my normal gems. So I'm like the least pay to win person, I would say, like at this point. Now, I'm not saying I'm free to play, but like not spending on legendary gems. I'm certainly not spending on legendary crests. Like, I'm not really spending outside of the battle pass anymore. So, and not because I'm not enjoying the game, but just because for what I do in the game, that's all I need. I can do really, really well in PvE, and the little bit of PvPing I do, I just said do, with 2-star legendary gems, and I get more damage out of it than I would a incomplete 5-star legendary gem. So to me, and from a content standpoint, I can probably resonate. See what I did there? Resonate, not resonance, but resonate with most of you if I focus on 2-star legendary gems, and then if I were to focus on 5-star legendary gems. So to me, it makes sense on literally my whole account, my content. Like, it makes total sense for me to make that switch. So again, not their target audience probably, but for me to be willing to spend money again in the game for pets, and again, I know like it's probably going to be a little controversial, but like, hell yes, bring pets into the game. But that's a video for a different time. So anyway, moral of the story there's still content that can come to the game with Diablo Immortal, yet it's not even on anything when it comes to BlizzCon. Another reason, so option 3 as to why maybe Diablo Immortal is not being mentioned at BlizzCon, is because they're mentioning their new mobile game, which is going to be called Warcraft Rumble, I believe, and it comes out very, very soon, actually. And if you're interested in that game, I do plan on covering it, actually, or at least testing it out. I've played that style of game before, and I tend to quickly lose interest, so I'm not dedicating a full channel or anything to it, but I love Warcraft. I played World of Warcraft for a long time. I like the IP a lot. In fact, I'm probably closer to the Warcraft IP than I am the Diablo IP, so I'm very interested in the game, and I'm going to be playing it. I'll probably make a few videos on this channel, see how you guys think about it, see what I think about it, and then we'll go from there. I'm not going to, guarantee anything, but if the game is good, I will cover it, and if it's enjoyable and something I can see a lot of growth on, maybe I'll keep it on this channel and just sort of do both games, sort of be like a hybrid approach to it, or maybe even make my own channel. I don't know. We'll see how good the game is, but that could be why, right? That could be very well be why they don't want to talk about 2 mobile games, because they want to be sensitive to, again, my first point, which was how Diablo Immortal was first appreciated, or really lack thereof, at BlizzCon the first time when it was announced. So that's another thought. Maybe this is just Blizzard being very tactful in their approach and only wanting to do one mobile game, and they want to sort of bring more attention and focus from the mobile community on their new mobile game. Let me know in the comments below which of these 3 you think it is, or a different option. To me, I'm still, even if it's not option 1, I'm still very concerned the fact that Diablo Immortal isn't being mentioned at all. So yeah, I'm not going anywhere, guys. I literally love this game. Am I getting game breaking, like YouTube breaking numbers or anything like that? No, but I love the Diablo Immortal community. I get DMs almost daily. If I go into a random dungeon right now, I guarantee at least one person knows who I am and just thanks me for the video, or just starts a quick conversation. I love that. I love that engagement. I'm here for the fun. I want to do live streams so I can engage with you guys even more. Like, I'm not here for the money, otherwise I probably wouldn't be covering Diablo Immortal. But I'm here because I love the community, and I really enjoy the game. So I'm not going anywhere, guys, but I'm a little worried. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Until next time, lock it in.